Okay, back for part 2. Now remember that the signature, the spine, was 4 centimetres, so I'm just going to line that up on my little grid here. And cut a bit of paper. This is going to help me with where the signature's going. Alright, so 4 centimetres and we want 3 signatures, so this is kind of perfect because we've got these lines to mark it, which is awesome. Just going to draw these lines. Fold it in half. Now some people make, if they're doing a 3 holes pamphlet stitch, some people might make the top one a bit different to the bottom one, but you know, you don't have to, and I tend to just, you can just fold that in like that, fold that in like that. And you've got the places to mark the holes. Okay, now let's get back to that cover. Okay, so I've just decided to put a little band over the top. Now I am folding it over so as it rolls over the edge. Now, as I've done with this end, I've just clipped all the way along, and I will leave this to dry as well. Okay, now that it's been sitting for a while, it should be well secured. So we're lining up the spine. Now you can close it and see if you're getting this lined up nicely. If your paper ends up a little bit bigger, then just even it out with a bit at the top and a bit at the bottom. Okay, now I can just gently secure it with a bit of masking tape. Just really just so it doesn't move around. Now I've got a pokey tool. This is an awl. You can get many different awls, just for anyone who hasn't seen one before. I got this one really, really cheap off eBay, so you can hunt around and get cheap ones. You don't have to pay top dollar. You could use your cutting mat, but I like to use a little bit of foam. You can get a good poke through, and you're just going to find the holes and poke them through. Now, when there's a bit of card and stuff, it can be a little bit difficult, but persevere. That's why I like to use a foam block. And you should be able to see the holes on this side, and you can just give them another little poke to just make sure they're going right through properly. These are going to be the guide for your needle. Now what we do with our signatures, bearing in mind that this page should be the exact right fit for the book. That was upside down. So we're tapping to the back and tapping to the top because I'm going to be cutting this off. So as we did with the last ones, which I didn't show on camera, line them up, line them up. Now I'm using quite a thick knife for this, and I'm lining up the spine so as it lines up. Sorry, I'm just leaning over here so I can be seeing it. And I'm using quite a thick knife so I can get down through the layers. Okay, so our signatures now are ready. Now there are two ways, well there's probably more than two ways you can do this. You can just poke through here like this, or you could use something like this tool. Now to put the holes in here, I've got the template, I've got my signature. This is a We Are Memory Keepers, and it keeps it. So I find with thick pages like this, using the foam, they can move around a bit too much. So if we get them sitting right into the groove and then screw them down, they don't move. Right, so we've got this. Now I can have a look and see there's a hole here. A pokey tool goes right down through the paper into the holes that are in the back of this. Right, so I've got that one, this one, and they're not always exact. Sometimes, if you notice, this is just a little bit down from here. So I could probably have done these holes on this first and then done the cover, but I have found that it's okay. It doesn't throw it out too much. You can see how nicely it comes out on the spine. Okay, so I've got two signatures in, and I'm just about to put the third in. I've worked from back to front, so last signature first. Now hold your tail. This is the same method that I used for the first two, which you could have either seen in my YouTube, in the 30-day project that I linked. Right, sometimes they're a bit hard to get through. Come back through this side. Or from the Snippet Saturday roll that I made, the little booklet that I made from Snippet Saturday, the cover, same cover as that, is pamphlet stitch as well. Yes, hello Amelia. Got to make sure you hold that little tail in there, especially as you get near the end. Right, so it's a bit awkward to show on camera because it's always backwards and forwardsing. So you kind of come back in the same hole and back through that centre one. So you want to come up on the other side of the string as that one. Yeah, there's a big bug going around here this week. Bit of gastro. That's why yesterday's video wasn't so hot. Make sure that these are tight and these are pulled tight. And we're just going to tie a knot. Okay, so all that banging going on out, there's always buildings happening. Alright, so here's the spine. Now I'm thinking, I'm not sure whether this is going to come up or not, whether I might cover that, but for the most part, there's your 3 signatures and this around the top. I'll also have to put something on to hold this together, tie around or tie together. So I was going to start doing the next binding method and I had all sorts of problems. I had it already, I had it filmed, and because I don't have the particular binding machine that I'd like to use, I went off to Officeworks and they couldn't bind it. So that's going to be held up and it'll be a part 3. And I'm just gonna, it might take another week or 2 because in the end I decided I really like these, and I actually like that it's the coil bound binding method. I really like it. So I've got about 20 golden books to make into journals and I'll probably use that method. So I decided that it's going to be a part 3 and it'll just have to be in a few weeks when the machine arrives. So these are the ones that I'm going to be putting in the Etsy store. You've seen a little bit. What I'm going to do though is, I'll just show you how I finish this one, is do a little what's in my shop playthrough of them all, and then that way they're all, you know, together. Because I realised that these 2 need to come out really quickly, so they're there for Easter. Now, as these are my first 3 books that I've made, golden books, they're going to be in the shop fairly reduced because I reckon there's little things that I made mistakes with. Generally they've all got 1 or 2 glassine bags with some little things in. In this one I have made that a pocket and put the little card in, so they're spread out throughout the book. And also there's a little pocket. Now it's made out of the Beatrix Potter pages, and then I've put the little bunny on the top and they're just put in. So they're throughout as well. And this one is the only one that's got the full page in. There. And I've put some lace to secure it. These 2 have got the half page that's been folded in half. This one will be appropriate to anyone who's in Melbourne in Australia. Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan did fall over and hurt himself the other day. I would hate to think that I preempted that. But there you go. This is the end of part 2. Okay, so these are the 3 that are going up in the shop today, and I'll have to come up with part 3 in a couple of weeks. So sorry about that, and that's what happens in the real world, folks. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll do a What's in My Shop upload after this, and bye for now.